Nothing much, man. Just chilling and working on my site and just trying to prepare for the future.
Yeah, yeah, I feel it. I definitely feel it.
I had to take my joint down because honestly, it took a lot out of me when I built my site last year because I did it by myself and for a couple months I just let it just like autopilot and I would just put a post up here and there. But now I just want to try to be more engaging and just focus more on it and
Yeah, I feel it.
just keep the shit keep the shit going, just in case social media decides to start blocking people's shit.
Yeah, yeah. But either from that, man, what's the topic for tonight? I see you talk about the pandemic and, how do you want to kick this off?
Yeah, man. I've been like, I am gonna talk about the pandemic because, man, I've been saying for the last like couple months. At first, I started off by telling people they should try to invest a little bit, invest a little bit because the stock market was going to kick off. But then, like, when it looked like that this pandemic wasn't going to go right, like it wasn't going to go right anytime soon, I'm like, cats should probably just slow down because
Yeah,
if they don't, then they'll be because this market is gonna crash. They've been trying to, pump up this market, and it's like it's a fake pump up, because you got
yeah,
unemployment down, you got yeah, you got unemployment down, and a lot of people, they're holding on to their money right now. So it's not
yeah.
even a real good idea to even try to invest because even though the market is rising, I think that shit is just fake, and this shit ain't going in no time soon.
Yeah, that's real. A lot of people are just inside and holding on, to the bread. And I mean, first off, they just really opened up the country, really like talking about it Monday with the second phase. So a lot of more businesses are open. I'm starting to see people actually sitting down in restaurants and stuff. It looked like, honestly, they kind of speeding up the process. All this bullshit about, oh, we're going to be shut down till next year. I don't really see it. I think that they feeling, like you said, how the economy is as far as how they felt, with no money for the past 2 months, and now they just hurrying up and trying to, boost this economy as fast as they can. So I don't think the fear that people keep saying they're going to have and should last for the next, year or two is going to really. I think that scare shit is done. People just want to get out there.
I don't know about that part about the fear factor. Like, I mean, wait, I think maybe that the fear factor might what I think what might I don't think that fear factor will go away. I think the fact that people could be homeless is what might take over instead of
Yeah,
the virus, because you've seen a
yeah,
lot of stuff going on right now, and especially what's going on in the news, about the latest killing and shit, and
yeah,
folks is not practicing social distancing. They're all out there in their faces. Like them cops, if they really wanted to, they were worried about their safety, could have just arrested the dude
yeah,
that committed the murder, and that would have been it. They could have just like, we could have moved this shit forward. But they're
yeah,
gonna do their racist bullshit, and we're gonna be this is gonna draw out. And I think some people are saying that the whole pandemic shit is fake or whatever, but I don't believe that's true. Uh,
hmm,
I have been seeing people who I don't know anybody personally that has it, but I have been seeing people say that they got it and they talk about their how it felt to have it and shit like that. And
yeah.
I think
That's
even if it's I think this shit is real, but it's just a man made things because people are out here
Yeah,
trying to
I
predict the
believe the
second
same thing,
wave.
and that's why I don't go and say it's fake myself. Because I mean, I know I don't personally know anybody who died of it, but I know people. I personally know people who died of it. So they say. But at the end of the day, I do. I just look at it like this whole COVID night. What I think is fake is the outrage the government put out there. When you look at the numbers, I think they're trying to just like I tell people all the time. I think they have plans they're going to implement if stuff goes bad, and this is one of them. And so they looked at it like, okay, the numbers are what they are. It ain't even really 1% of the population, but it could be potentially this. So let's go ahead and throw this like King Alpha plan out here and just see how things work. And them shutting down its economy for 2 months, that was part because they didn't really have to do that. You know what I'm saying? They could have, how they're doing this phase one, phase two, phase three, they could have implemented that the same way they're opening up the country. They could have shut down the country the same. First week, we're gonna see how everything goes. If it gets worse than this, we shutting this down. And then the second phase, we shutting all this shit down. It's gonna ultimately become a third phase where we have to shut everything down. And they never did that. They just went ahead and shut everything down. But now they want to slowly open everything back up. So, I just look at it like, they're trying to implement stuff to see what could happen. And they saw what happened. And that's why they hurried up and opened the country back up. See, now the rhetoric isn't no longer, you got Trump up there saying, I don't give a damn if we got a vaccine or not. Trump, he said the economy's reopened. So, you feel me? That just, 2 months ago, you gave a damn. You know,
I think
which one is
it? I think the reason why he opening up the economy is because he don't want to be in a position where he has to write another round of stimulus checks.
Yeah,
because it would put us even deeper in a hole that our grandchildren and great grandchildren would be paying off, and we paying for this shit that our people before us have. Like, that's why these fucking taxes are so high and shit, and why the cost of living is so high. We paying for all that shit. So it's like if you want your kids and your kids to have to deal with it, he don't want to go down as the president that put us even further in debt. They ain't gonna care. Even if he did write the second round of stimulus checks or whatever, they ain't even gonna care. They're just gonna be like, they're gonna be just like, he increased the national deficit or whatever, and they're just gonna hate him for that. Not even the fact that the fake money that he pumped into the economy, helped them out or whatever case is, or got the money flowing. Yeah. I think like with this virus, that it exposed a lot of stuff. Like people who were under this the ideals, this credit indoctrination, where they decided to choose credit over cash, and they're going to be heading into a lot of trouble, because even hypothetically, even if the virus was fake, even if like this is just like not real, which is I'm not saying it is, I'm saying I believe is a real thing, but even if it isn't real, the damage has already been done, and like people are seeing banks like limiting people's credit limit, or cutting them completely off based off of their spending. So you could have an 800 credit score and not use your credit card that much, but your low income could get you either limited, or they could just cut you straight off.
Yeah. It's funny that you brought that up, because I've been watching a lot of economists lately, a lot of financial advisors, and they're saying the same thing. They said this stimulus check, as much as people are jumping up and down and happy about, this is just going to inflate, the market. And basically, anytime you're just printing up money, first off, you lose value of the dollar. Not only do you lose value of the dollar here, but you lose it globally. And once you lose it globally, you don't want the market to devalue on a global market, because we're the premier dollar, meaning that other dollars literally are backed by us. So, if you go like, 1,000 pesos equal what, $1, whatever. But it's basically what they're saying. If our dollar collapses, then every other dollar that's behind it will collapse as well. And so, yeah, I do see it on both. But then at the same time, I also see what you want to do. Sit here and have people out for 78 days of work. Don't stimulate the economy. Don't do anything, and essentially tell people to starve. That's political suicide. Essentially, this would be Russia in the 50s to 60s, where they always talk about communism and how we're not a communist government, we're not a socialist government. Damn it, if you do that, you pretty much are, on one extreme to another. Okay, don't hand nobody no more. But then you're going to have people starving in the street, stores shut down. This looks like Cuba or Russia. So it's like, what do you do in that type of economy? I think they did what they felt they had no other choice but to do, which is stimulate the economy. Give these people $1,200, let them at least pay their rent for the next 2 months until I can open the economy back. Outside of that, yeah, okay, preserve the dollar and throw away the population. Nah, these are people, and that's the thing that I hate about a lot of political strategists on both sides, is that they crunch numbers. They don't crunch people. They crunch people into numbers as if, everything isn't really case by case basis. You can't treat everybody like, everybody have different types of elements. Everybody have different types of issues. there are some people who, live literally check by check. So, and none of this was caused by the people. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if this was like 2001, where everybody was wildly investing money in .com and dumb shit, and then boom, bubble happened, bust, and now all y'all, that's on you. Hell, even 2008 could have been argued the way stupid motherfuckers buying houses and doing all like, I could see that. Y'all put yourself in that economy. But in this situation, it wasn't that. It wasn't people who was recklessly spending money and taking out loans against their housing and pulling out equity and buying fucking Chrysler 300s and shit. Like, nah, these are people who were working, one day got tapped on the shoulder and said, hey, go home. We don't know where you're coming from. So, you got to look at it from both ends, because at the end of the day, it's easy just to look at the numbers and say, well, yo, if you do this, it's going to be fucked up. And, but it's like at the same time, how do you, what do you do with millions of people out of work that you said, you told these people to go home, so.
Yeah. A lot of these,
I don't know.
man, I think a lot of people are going to be trouble. On one hand, this is like I think I called it pretty much the title of the video or the conference and shit, that it was pretty much going to be a world reset. And
Yeah.
we are talking about how it would affect people, but like we're talking about how it's affecting them in a negative way. Like they'll, a lot of people are going to be out of work. A lot of people are going to be in debt. They're going to be in debt that is going to take them lifetimes to get out of. They're going to probably die with a lot of debt on them. And the people who are prepared for it, or they still have a job but they don't have as much debt as everybody else, I think those people need to try to get a side hustle or a business going, even if it's only like a few $100s a month, or whatever case is. Just
Yeah.
those people who are prepared for it, or people who who don't have it as bad as everybody else, I think they'll be all right. Everybody else, you might see like a lot of changes happening, and that's what I'm saying. Like simping is not going to save many people. It's not going to help out. It's not going to help a lot of broads, because for the past 10 or 12 years, they've been having these certain types of jobs that have and certain types of benefits that have allowed them to just continuously be disrespectful to, like, we're not even talking about like busters or anything like that. We're not even talking about like regular chumps and shit like that. We're talking about like the average. We're talking about stand-up dudes that they've been disrespectful towards, and they're gonna have to humble themselves and come with the cooperation, because that whole scammy shit. Like I was watching a video yesterday, and this dude was talking about how and this is one of those financial guys who talks, who's been talking about he's been predicting what's about to happen, and he talked about how there was women of his past that actually hit him up and trying to get some money out of him, and they had an agreement, and the women didn't honor the agreement, and they thought they got over on him when he was like, what's up, you didn't honor your agreement. They were just like, why are you tripping about it? So he basically, because he uses his credit card with his CashApp, he basically charged back. So not only did the bitch have to pay him back the money that she got from him, but she also had overdraft fees as well.
They had to pay a bank back.
Yeah. So, and then they might even shut down her Cash App as well. So she like bitches are gonna have to come with it, man. They're gonna have to like up their social game. They're gonna have to learn how to be more sociable, because the attitude that they're giving us based off of a lot of these dudes pandering to them, that they didn't have to come with anything. That's going to go out the window, man. That stuff, like a dude doing nothing and a dude paying you to do nothing, that shit is going to go out the window.
But these dudes, my stance, man. At the end of the day, no agreement, no plea deals. Niggas don't plead no contest. You don't fucking negotiate with terrorists. And that's the problem a lot of men get themselves into. It's the way you come, it's the way you end. You talk about, I already knew when you said that agree. I was like, I'm pretty sure this dude, cash up all this shit. He probably tricking on the under, you know what I'm saying, and trying to, you can't pivot yourself in a weak position. And so I don't give a fuck what agreement you got. Of course that bitch ain't gonna honor that. And then she probably gonna snigger and laugh at you for even saying the shit, because it's like, listen, nigga, you know what I'm saying? This is something you really don't control. You may pay me, but at the end of the day, I'm offering a service. That's the problem. you know, at the end of the day, you don't want to put yourself in those situations. A lot of things that you said though is correct. There is going to be a reset button. And I think in society, with men and women, there's going to be a reset button on both ends. Where motherfuckers gonna have to realize this tricking shit that you got by before COVID-19
Yeah.
is not gonna, you know, because now they can renegotiate. And just like the guys, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know, y'all niggas listen, motherfuckers gotta throw that out the window anyway. Because like I said, at the end of the day, that's not gonna help. That never has helped. What I think will help a lot of these guys, you know, always get on these big town men and all this shit, is using the reset button um to in your favor today. You know what I'm saying? Right now. You can use this reset, nigga. You have an opportunity for all, and I'm talking to all these motherfuckers out here. Anybody listen for all the sucker shit and square shit you've been doing, you got an opportunity now to reset it. You know what I'm saying? And and by listening to this, you can do essentially what that guy just did. And say, you know what, I don't want to trick no more. Fuck this. I'm not liking the the internal disrespect. I don't like the way I feel.
Yeah.
So I'm not only you know, I'm gonna run some real game. And that was some real kind of like swear game a motherfucker can run. That coded in some street shit. Nigga, pull that motherfucking whatever trick shit you did, pull it back, and now she gotta pay you and pay the guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like that. You know, but that seems like he finally came to his wits end and said, you know what, fuck. And that's all I'm asking a lot of guys to do. Fuck this. You ain't got to offer up no money. You ain't got nigga zero down. You feel me? It's almost like those commercial car sales where sound too good. 0% interest, zero down. That's the type of game I'm running. I'm telling niggas right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Come fuck with it. Hey, man, come listen to me. 0% interest, zero down with the bitch today. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
You ain't got to. You ain't got to. It's a lot of men whose credit um is so high. We're gonna talk about that. You got cats who put in so much work and equity out here. They got 750 credit scores in life, meaning wherever they go. If a bitch was like a motherfucking car sales, as soon as they see him coming through the door, they gonna roll like a red car. Oh, whatever you want, daddy. Because you know, bitch, I'm 750, 800 and better. Like you can't. Come on now.
Yeah.
When I come in this motherfucker, so you already be paying me, and you already know it. That's the type of shit, and that equity is not something you gonna read in no goddamn book. Ain't something no DVD, none of this shit. It's something that you have to start by simply doing what he did. Just getting sick and tired and sick and putting your foot down, telling that bitch, now you wanna come fuck with me, you gonna fuck with me. But it's simple shit they teach you in preschool. Because we respect and honor each other. Because you like me and I like you. And you know, all the little petty silly shit kids talk about. That's what you build your equity off. And that will take you further than any type of money that you can spend on you. So,
Yeah.
you already know
I agree on that shit because I also think that like it's gonna come. I think I think a couple things are gonna come in effect when it comes down to it. These dudes gonna have to realize like since they're in a they want to hold their money. You know, this is a good time. Like right now, everything is going on. You do want to hold your money and just sit on it and just wait because hey, that's what motherfucking Warren Buffett is doing right now. People think that this motherfucker survived at least 3 recessions. I think at least 3 of them, and he's sitting on his money and they think he don't know what he's doing with his money. This is like probably one of the richest motherfuckers in the world, but he's sitting on his money and he's waiting. He's not waiting. Like when I had just said that the stock market was, you know, a month ago, I said it was a good time to invest, and now I'm saying to hold and to wait. You know what I mean? That's what he is not waiting for the economy to just, you know, offer a good price. He's not waiting for the stock market to offer, you know, good prices or discounted prices. He is waiting for shit to be basically on clearance. And that's when you want to start buying shit up. And he don't even have like the type of bread that's just, you know, buying stocks. He got the type of bread to be taking over companies.
Corporations.
So like I think what's like these dudes are going to be in a position where they want to hold their money, and not only they want to hold their money, but you know, I mean, they're going to find out that they probably didn't have to work as hard as they did to talk to some of these females, because these females are going to be they're going to start acting nicer. They're going to start being cooperative because
the game is going to be on clearance. And when I understand what you're saying, though, you're right about that. Is that if you hold on, starve these bitches up, because what they've been doing on Instagram Hoes been running amok. You know, they've been living in a bubble economy for the past 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Ever since motherfuckers in ad Cash App, ever since motherfuckers asked the cash, the cash thing on YouTube and all these social media, motherfuckers act like they own all the act. And so now life has humbled their ass, and you're right. This bubble has busted for bitches. You know what I'm saying? The bitch economy have busted. The bitch share has plummeted to motherfucking zero or pennies on the dollar right now. And so now you have the time to not even invest in no bitch, nigga. I'm sitting back like Warren Buffett with my money. I'm gonna watch you bitches go. And then the first bitch, believe me, she gonna jump up, and ain't nobody gonna want to go down with the Titanic. So everybody gonna start jumping overboard trying to save themselves. And they gonna jump right into the arms of the first motherfucker. And now, it's on you. But see, here's the thing: it's on you or how to play this.
Yeah.
Right now, like you said, Clint, you got, man, it's tricks out here. If they really sharpen their game, get a wrench their game and tighten it up, I'm telling you right now, they could have a heroin bitch living like King Solomon in the body, 1,000 deep. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, bitches just at every knee because why? They're no longer all that Instagram model shit. These hoes is plumbing. They're zero. They might as well be a bunch of fat bitches walking around.
Yeah.
Treated as such. And believe me when I tell you this. When a stock drops to zero, I don't give a fuck how good it looks. It could have been at $112 a share. Nigga, it's gonna operate like it's at zero. You know what I'm saying? So anybody can scoop that stock up. Like you said, there's a time Warren Buffett got money that can buy up corporations. Well, guess what? When a corporation hits zero and anybody can, nigga, some floppy motherfucker trailer park can buy a fucking stock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming. These same guys who felt for years that they was inadequate, like these women were trophies and they were never in their league. Guess what, nigga? You have a chance now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have a chance now to have any bitch you want. You always had the chance. Niggas always had the chance to have any bitch you want. But now it's probably seen more because the shit that anybody else saw who was really have some game about themselves understood that all these stocks ain't worth shit. Motherfuckers put value on these stocks. You understand what I'm saying? Like even with Amazon and don't get me wrong, they're worth something, but they're only worth what people put into them. They're only worth the lines that people are willing to wrap around to get a fucking iPhone 11. Outside of that, if people ain't willing to buy it, there's no value to it. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of this shit is inflated value. And the bitch never really had no value. You know what I'm saying? But niggas put so much value, you inflate this stock. And now you see the stock was no worth shit to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
man.
Shit. I think I forgot what else he had said. I don't think like the dude was on some trick shit because he runs a whole channel. It's called The Disruptive Mel on YouTube. He talked a lot about the game and how he actually talked about how tricking and simping wasn't going to save anybody. Because a lot of these dudes are going to have a choice between eating, or paying a bitch's bills. So they're going to. I think a lot of dudes before they even start thinking about bras, they need to get their minds right. Get your money. Exactly. Get your mind right. Get your mind right before you get your probably at the same time you're getting your money right, so you don't end up starving. But you gotta start learning and reading and just listening to guys like us, and then you will be on the right path, man. You will be on the right path. I got a homeboy who's gonna hold. He says he's gonna keep observing how things are going, but he might he's gonna pretty much travel anyway. Once the traveling is up, I don't want to wait that long. I like taking advantage of opportunities. So, I'll probably say about maybe a year or two from now, I think bitches will be soft as butter that's been left out on the counter all fucking day, and you can just cut through that shit with a butter knife, without no problems, to the point where the fucking butter is like falling off the goddamn butter knife and shit. That's how I think it should be. You know what I mean? That's what. But right now, use this time to if you not one of those persons that's losing your fucking job and shit like that, just get your mind right. Listen to the right people. There ain't nothing wrong with heading to asking questions and shit like that. Don't let bitches define your manhood as like you got to do things that make them happy. Do things that you feel like is going to improve yourself. Because before this video even started, I was checking out things on how to improve my website. That's why it's down right now. It might be down for a couple of days because I want to add other shit to it. and take control of my destiny. I don't want my destiny to be controlled by anybody else.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And that's
So,
real, man.
you know what I mean? So y'all
That's what it's
guys,
about.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So these other guys, you know what I mean? Well, y'all, if y'all checking this out, y'all listening, man, start getting y'all shit together, get your mind right. And you know, if you want directions to the right people, just ask, man. No man worth his weight in gold is gonna turn you away from people who can help you out. You know what I mean? We're going like if you ask the right questions, you know what I mean, we'll direct you to the right people.
Exactly. And that's the thing, man. I mean, I agree. There should be a 3-step pro. First, I always tell people, you gotta, read, do research, whatever it is you want to do. Even if it's this game, man, research. You know. Number two is implement. You know, that's either getting like everybody say, get your money right, or start implementing the stuff that you research. And
Yeah,
then third, you feel me, execute. Implement and execute is two different things. You may implement is just basically starting it up, but I'm talking about actually going through with it, sticking to it, fucking, even if you fail the first time, going back and just really executing that shit. And then, everything else, really, once you do those three things, motherfuckers start chasing you. It's the same thing in a record business. Most people back in the day would take their dumb ass bad boy Def Jam, sit out there for hours, trying to hand out mixtapes, trying to hand out demos. And I mean that shit worked for some people, or a lot of people it didn't. But what really worked was a lot of rappers like the Cash Money and all this stuff who was down south somewhere, putting out little fucking tapes out the trunk, selling 10,000 copies, and nobody knew what, but the people in the South. And that's what people from Def Jam and Atlantic and all the people was coming down south looking for baby. Why? Because you ain't got to sit out here in front of our office selling shit or trying to give us shit. You already making shit happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of initiative you want to take in life. Bitches will come after you, search who is this nigga who got this stop slipping page.
yeah,
Even who is this cat who doing all these things and having these lectures and probably and dropping books and information. Who is this dude? Because all he does is drop knowledge, yet you feel me, we have no real accessibility to him. And that's just a whole nother part of the game. You already know. Don't make yourself so accessible. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And so you lose value by doing it and kind of put a veil under your game. A lot of shit you implement that as well, execute it properly. So that's the type of stuff you want to do. You kind of do want to have that ghost image to a certain extent, just to keep that allure. You feel me? But at the same time, people respect that. People, put value on that, and then it's the value that you place on yourself as well. But like I said, a lot of people, man, they, especially with us as guys, don't value themselves. And you see these women who put overvalue on themselves, but and I'm not telling guys to be realistic as shit. I much rather you put some value on yourself. Don't be so fucking naive like these bitches do, but you see it works for them a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? And that's the game within itself to make a G like 10,000. Some guys do hype it up, but my whole thing is, man, value yourself. You know what I'm saying? Work on yourself. Do like these bitches do. They before they put that camera on themselves, they got 1,000 things they're trying to do to boost their image. And
yeah,
I'm not saying to like I said, don't falsely boost your image. Do it in a real way, but at the same time, work on your shit. And I guarantee fucking you, everybody and their mama gonna come inquiring about it. And that's what you want. Because now you got options. Now you got leverage. Now you can coldly tell the bitch, I don't give a fuck. Now check this out. You gotta come like this, or it's a no go. Matter
yeah,
of fact, I don't even want to fuck with you. I don't care what you got. I don't even have time for you right now. And it's not even on no arrogant shit. This is just sincere and genuine. I don't. I got 1,000 other motherfuckers who come in with 1,000 better offers than your ass. And the only thing it seems like you bringing me your ass to kiss. But guess what, bitch? Yeah, I'm that nigga though. You feel me? And I got the value to show you. So
yeah, yeah, man. I definitely feel that shit, man. And like, and with and with that, like I say that dudes like on top of you getting your mind right, you know what I mean? I think in the first step of getting your mind right, you need to just leave shit that happened in the past. If it happened 1 minute ago, 5 minutes ago, leave that shit in the past, and
yeah,
you could immediately. That's the great thing about life, and just walking to the beat of your own drum is that immediately, you know what I mean, you could just be fed up with shit and decide that you want to change.
yeah,
Decide that you know this shit is booty, and laugh at this shit, clown the bullshit. You know what I mean? You know, that's how you get over, you know, issues that you used to have, is just laugh and clown the shit, man. Look how I used to be, man. That's some crazy ass shit. But I'm trying to be a better me. I'm trying to, you know, do better. But don't spend your entire life trying to with that shit, because that sometimes that could be it makes people sound crazy. Like every time I run into a broad who's telling me that she's working on herself, and I'm wondering how long was she working on herself, because I mean, yeah, you should be finding stuff out that you like about yourself and spending more time with, you know, time with yourself. You know, be by yourself. Be comfortable with being by yourself. Because if you always walk around with it like a Debbie Downer or whatever the case is, then motherfuckers ain't gonna really, you know, mess with you, unless they probably Debbie Downer type niggas as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I was dropping some. I had made a post on Facebook the other day, and I'm telling guys up there, like, you know, things are about to change. You know, I hate to use the terminology "real men" because every man is a real man, but even if we don't like how a man operates or whatever cases, that motherfucker is still a man. And but you know, I'm like, you know, there is going to be a return of real thorough dudes, and you know, I mean, you want to be able to be in that world. You want to be a part of that. You know, you want to be that type of dude, you know, going forward. And then there's always like some red pill or MGTOW dude, like, oh yeah, this is women are going to take advantage of you, pregnant, and take you to court and shit like that. Like, yeah, if you a goofball, yeah. If you a lame, then yeah, they're gonna be able to take advantage of you and trick you into having kids and shit like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, get your mind right, man. You don't, you know, dudes who get their minds right and become a man of means don't fall for bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, a bitch ain't even allowed to, you know, sneeze wrong. You know, if you don't want to sneeze wrong. So you
talked about getting your mind right. I think being like how you talk about being, I don't like to use the word loner, but truth of the matter is that's the game, man. You know, a lot of us who, you know, if you ever done time before or whatever, you're gonna learn that real quick.
Yeah.
You're gonna be by yourself, like, you know, you by yourself, and it breaks a lot of cats at an early age. And I don't think you should have to go down that line to be a loner, but hell, that's how a lot of cats got it. Now, on the second part of it, it builds character. Being alone doesn't equate to having to be in some cold cell, but it does equate to, you know, sitting down and reading, sitting down and just what they call it, meditating, just gathering your thoughts or writing down your thoughts, things like that. You know, that's the thing that people need to do. And I mean, I know it sounds so cliche, because, you know, we hear this shit from our parents, we hear this shit in school, but a lot of shit, man, that you hear. And our OGT told me this a long time ago. He said a lot of stuff that you learned in kindergarten is gonna stick with you for the rest. It's not that shit that you learned in chronophysics. It wasn't that shit you learned in college. It wasn't that shit you learned in grad school. The little things that you learned at 5 means more, and it's going to carry you throughout life more than any physics or any, you know, any type of math equation you can learn. And I truly believe that honor, respect, learning how to talk to one another, little social things, little witty things that will get you by quicker, especially with women or anybody. You know what I'm saying? Talk your motherfucking self into things, talk yourself out of it, you know. And a lot of people don't have that, man. They don't have that spunk, don't have that jazz about themselves to be able to just kind of be down to earth, you know, to read a situation, read people, look at people. Remember, 80% of communication is nonverbal, man. You got to look at people's body language and assess the situation. And then when you talk to people, kind of try to be a problem solver to a certain extent. That's what people really like. And that's what how motherfuckers really want to fuck with you, is not trying to solve their problems, but just giving game, basically, on how you should have a solution. Everything should be something that gem dropping and people can take away from their aha moment. Like, man, you know, I really like him. Every time you come around, you give a little, you know, and that's just how I look at things. You know, it's not, man, I don't know. For me, I always tell people it's not hard. It's just something that you got to embrace. Some people embrace, man, people embrace anime, people embrace fucking all sorts of crazy shit. Embrace yourself, you know. That's the thing.
Yeah, man. Shit. If anything, maybe if they and things that they embrace, you know, I think in things that they are okay with embracing, then maybe they could envision themselves in the things that they embrace. So like hypothetically, if they like you said, the motherfuckers embrace anime, envision
Yeah,
themselves in an anime, being by themselves and shit like that. Some type of like um me, I ain't never been to jail before, but I have lived. I've had to deal with like hardships.
yeah,
I've had to
yeah,
like live in with roommates and shit like that, and pretty much be isolated.
yeah,
And where I had to take care of myself. I've dealt with like having somebody pass away and just being out there on my own. You know, for a time. And there's nobody that can really help you. You can't depend on your roommates because the motherfuckers in the same predicament you're in. They got to scrape, scratch, and claw to survive as well. So
yeah,
I ain't saying
yeah,
somebody got to intentionally put themselves in that situation, but you do have to learn how to be by or maybe listen to stories of how people survive by themselves, and
yeah,
if you could put because I knew a guy who was in a group I was in, and it was a group on financing, and he wanted to maximize all the money that he was getting back. So he lived in like a real bad shithole. It was like like a trailer or something like that.
yeah.
It had a whole lot of issues. And he lived in that joint by himself, but he wanted to make sure his rent and his utilities were just really low so he could maximize all the profit he was getting. And then once the end of the year had rolled around and he done did like 500,000 in sales, he went and bought himself a house.
Oh, what? See? Yeah, yeah,
Also, like follow people who are like on the same mindset, because then you just never know how it'll just click. It's like when people talk about being triggered by certain things and like it's having a negative effect on them when they see certain things. Follow people who have a positive trigger, and therefore like it's like a light bulb going off when they say stuff, and then you just get a different viewpoint on things. Because another cat I was fucking with, I was watching on YouTube. I didn't know you could do this, but he talked about how he rented out one of his rooms to his business, his business, and he gets like a certain tax return back. He gets like a certain amount of money back on his tax returns because he rents. He has a house, and even though he lives in that house, he rented out a room to his business, and he's able to have that business as a tax write off. I didn't know you could. I didn't think you could do that. I never thought you could ever do that, but it's like just
yeah,
follow and fuck with people, and you just never know the type of shit you could learn.
yeah. And see, that's some part of I like that because that's some game that I was taught years ago. Is fuck what it looked like. It is what it is, man. Like at the end of the day, I knew there was this one OGP man from LA. They always talk about named Black Art. Now this is like Fillmo Slim and them OG. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
like the OG OG. He was a OG probably back in the '70s. They said how he was one of the most reputable cats cross country. He lived in a little like damn near like a log cabin, basically. Like you know what I'm saying? It was like I remember this story. It's like he lived in a very small place and had hella clothes, like thousands of dollars worth of gators and clothes in there. Probably more clothes in the house square foot, probably like really about 500 square foot at that,
Yeah.
but reputable. And not only that, but because he lived in a small, his overhead was small. So guess what? His money was big in the game. Why? Because rent probably is only $500 a month, and he bringing in 5,000 a night. But most cats, if they was bringing in $5,000 a night, they'll be spending $10,000 a day. You know what I'm saying? So it it's the way you live. And everything doesn't have to be glitz and glamour. And there's ways to make things look better than they appear. Like I tell you all the time, the stupidest shit ever. And I'm learning this just through finances. Like I learned this years ago. People will sit here and say, "Oh, I got peak tip on everything. I bought all my cars. Cars be appreciating in value as soon as you buy." If you was really smart, you put everything on gangster contract, which is just lease. You lease the car for a year or two, build your credit up, return the damn car, go get you a 2000. This is why how people make the game look good. How niggas be like, I ride in every brand new year. Yeah, they do because they leasing them cars. And so every year they turn the car in. They get 2018, 2019, 2020, next year 2021. And it looks good. But you got some cat who's saying, well, I buy a car. I bought it 2018. You may buy the first 2-year model car, guarantee about 30 years. You're blood. You're spending 50,000 on a vehicle that I'm leasing $300 a month. If that, if my credit good, you understand what I'm saying? See, people have no real game about themselves. They think that buying things and trying to show off is the game. And no, building your credit and building equity that you can pull out is the game, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Building equity in anything is the game. You know what I'm saying? Like most people, most millionaires are created through rental. Hell, you'd be better off buying cars and renting them out. All those Rolls Royces and all them other fucking Porsches and shit niggas want to, you could lease those and lease and and sublease those bitches to other people and get your money. But
Yeah,
niggas don't.
I think I learned that a couple months ago myself. I never was somebody that like to buy or finance cars because I actually learned how to drive late in life, and
Okay.
like I was already in my 20 in my 20s when I learned how to drive, and most people probably learned when they was like teenagers and shit. But couple things like I know I didn't think I wanted to I don't think I knew much about credit at a certain point, um but I learned recently that people do like if you want to be smart about buying a car or whatever case is, then you lease it. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of motherfuckers like to finance cars with car notes and shit like that, and the car depreciates in value, but it never gets any cheaper. You know,
Yeah.
the car note is there for you to pay off until you own it or until they repo it. You know, and I think the reality of most people who talk finances will tell you that getting a car note is a bad idea. If you were to
Yeah.
Google car notes or why people get car notes, the first article that will pop up is from Forbes, and Forbes will tell you one of the number one mistakes you can make in building wealth is not leasing, but having a car note. You know, your car payment.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think the money that like it's like almost 5,000, not 5,000, well, it's almost 6,000 a year if you factor in the fact that it's like 500, almost like the very least is 500 a month to rent to the, a car note is about $500.
Yeah, about 350,
Then you gotta
400. Once you add taxes, about 500. Yeah.
yeah, so then you gotta factor in what's the other shit?
Car
Insurance,
insurance. Yeah.
maybe registration, a whole bunch of other shit, gas, and on a monthly basis is more than what you're paying for on a monthly basis. And but let's just say hypothetically you only had to pay the 500. That's 6,000 a year that could have went to something else, better. You either could have kept using public transportation, or you could have got a really cheap but a reliable car, and just cut what you're spending in half. Or you could use Uber or Lyft or whatever. One of these programs, which I'm pretty sure would probably cost you less per year to use, pocketed the money, and then like when you got about 12 grand or 15, 20 grand, you can probably get one of these other cars that everybody else is driving around, at a much cheaper rate.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
ain't nothing wrong with like wanting to stack your money because all the people that's being flashy, like you said, man, that's not that one is not the game. And two, I'm positive them people are broke. When this
Yeah.
shit is old, when this not like if they actually ever do they'll probably get a vaccine in like the next 2 to 3 years or whatever. But even when they get the vaccine, you're gonna see how a lot of people weren't living the way they like. I remember seeing a video I think a couple weeks ago where Boosie said a lot of dudes out here were hurting, and
Yeah.
probably has a lot to do with some of them were being flashy for females who were probably waiting by the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my point. I mean, that's kind of the game that we're talking about right now is being steady, being consistent and watching everybody just kind of bleed out. The motherfuckers been, bleeding out for years. It looks good, but they're bleeding out right now. And so as long as you stay consistent, not I never like the term hold your money, but I understand what people saying. Yes, hold it to invest. Don't just run out and invest in all stupid shit, but then at the same time, hold it to make wise investments. Everything that you do should make investments. Everything that you do should make money. That's another thing. OGP about LA said the same thing, payroll, man. And that's the real shit. He was like, your laptop, your phone, your damn car should all make money like the business, period. And that's real shit. At the end of the day, just like right now with this, you having to pay. If you turn your, laptop on, you turn your damn phone on, it can generate income. It will generate income.
Yeah.
Same with me. My car right now, I use that to generate income by doing the grub cuts and all this stuff, making
Yeah.
money by just riding around bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be able to, everything that you do, should be able to make you money. Everything that you have should be the investment and not something that you do. You shouldn't be jumping in your car just riding around burning gas. Talk about, hey, I just want to take, a cruise and clear my thoughts. No, fuck that. Like, take you some money while you're clearing your thoughts. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just ways to do things, man. And like I
Yeah.
said, it's not a bad thing to have nice things, to have flashy things. Just make your
It's not.
flashy things if you want them work for you. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
work for the flashy things. Like that's crazy. So
It's shit. I think like even if you want, even if you didn't like if you like flashy shit, make the money to be able to afford that lifestyle. Don't just
yeah,
run off on that shit with like on credit and shit like that, because that's a credit. Like any financial advisor will tell you, like, make sure your money is right before you start messing around with anything else.
yeah,
And like you said, motherfuckers who do the Grubhub or the Uber Eats and stuff. When you're doing the Uber Eats, you could probably sell. You don't even have to just settle for just um the fare. What you're gonna get paid afterwards. You could always try to hustle other stuff. Like there were people who had water, candy, chargers for the phone and shit like that. They could charge money for for charging people's phones and shit. Sell books if they have them shit. They could hustle other types of shit to their customers and make extra money besides just doing the Uber thing. So just like turn your hustle side up.
yeah. Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
like just don't be out here trying to be flashy for people who don't even give a damn, and most likely, you know, even though they being flashy, they probably living just as bad offline. You know what I mean? But we'll see how if people actually get this shit straight. Because like right now, like I said, this is the reset. This is the reset of the world. So I think some motherfuckers are gonna have to actually feel some pain before they actually get their shit straight, before they actually decide that enough is enough. So a lot of these females out here, any of the broads who still clamoring on to them bullshit ideologies they had 10 years ago, we're gonna see if they still have them in the next year or two, and they're going to have to feel some pain. These dudes out here, that's you're not trying to get your mind right. You want to continue on the way you going. You're going to have to feel some pain before they actually click in your head that you got to make shit change.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that's what I'm saying, man. We're gonna see. Like I said, next year or two, hell, the next 2 months is going to reveal a lot. So we're gonna see how this game is gonna roll, man. See how people really want to react. The cool part about it, I think, motherfuckers, common sense kick in. You know what your financial situation is like. People need. I think people know what they have to do. Again, it's executing. I think these type of podcasts that we have just kind of reassures, like, yeah, whatever you was thinking, motherfucker, that's what I'm saying, do that. Whatever you was thinking that isn't, right, don't do that. Listen to this and do this. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, these we need these as men to talk about this type of stuff. We need like-minded guys to come together because there's a lot of suckers out here saying a lot of suck ass shit, and they get the traction. They got the millions of views. They're getting the deal. They're getting you know everything, and
Yeah,
they're really feeding people bad information. So
yeah.
we need these. We really do.
And the crazy, yeah, not only are they feeding people bad information, but if you really look at the numbers and stuff like that, it's not really adding up. I mean, if,
Yeah,
if the economy was really booming, then why is unemployment the way it is? I read that it was gonna reach about 30, like, not no, I think it was already at 30%, but it's gonna reach 40% when it's all said and done, maybe even 50.
yeah. I believe it. I believe it. But another thing is a lot of people. There's people who survive off of that, and there's people who surviving off of other streams of income as well. And so
Yeah,
how that plays out too. But yeah, at the end of the day, a lot of these, it's the same cat who talk against people like that, who really believe in the system. Well, I'll put it like this: they do believe in the system, but see, and they feel how the system they feel, isn't really being reciprocal for them. But they still push that ideology. That you still need to do this, go to college, and all this other shit. Which
Yeah.
again, I don't have nothing against that, but it's just that system mentality to see that the system fails them. You understand what I'm saying? Like we gonna see how that plays out too, because at the end of the day, dude, this system don't give a fuck about nobody. You know what I'm saying? This system is about just straight up money, and that's that. And that money turns around every so often. So even if you are making the money, they'll shut your shit down to make way for somebody else. They don't give a damn about you, but people really feel that way. People do feel to a certain extent, and the system do care. Or if the system doesn't care, as long as you do the right thing by the system, it'll do right by you. And they're seeing that shit isn't true. So you just gotta sit back and really watch this. And that's what I want to do. I just want to sit back and watch this shit play out for what it really is.
Yeah.
Watch all these people talking all this sucker shit for the past year. Watch them, go down, man. So
I agree on that part, man. I was going that's how I was going. I had said this, like, I think when Trump was elected, I said I wanted to see how all this stuff plays out. I just hoped I lived long enough to see it, because it was um who knows, like the way things are going out with the racism in this country, it could be a cop any day now,
yeah,
or it could be some goofy ass dude just just on the on his wrong path or whatever. But
yeah,
I was just like saying, like, man, I hope I live long enough to see how this shit plays out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it's definitely interesting. I think the people that voted for him, you know, if he does, I think if he doesn't get out another a round of stimulus checks or whatever, people might actually look into voting him out. And I think he'll be cool with them voting him out, as long as he doesn't become the president that added more to the national deficit.
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah,
rest of these motherfuckers is pandering to the public, like, yeah, we'll get you another round of stimulus checks and shit. We'll get you 2,000 for the next couple years, whatever. And it's like, we're gonna see how this shit plays out, man.
yeah,
Never gonna see how this shit plays out. Um, but it's not looking good right now. The money is not looking good, and this whole shit with the virus is like, it's already done enough damage. And you're just gonna have to observe and see how this shit plays out.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, people have been living above their means for a long time, and the shit is just gonna play out the way it's gonna play out. Which is, if you ain't got your shit together, you're gonna fail. And even with this game, it's the same thing. But like I said, it's a lot of opportunity right now. And if people are willing to listen, people will humble themselves, sit back and really just take a breath, you can really make some moves out here. And I'm seeing it. I was 24 in 2008 when all that financial shit happened. And I was in no position back then to make no real. I mean, well, I take that back. I probably was more in position financially back then on some street shit to do something. But I didn't know what the fuck I was. Rest in peace. You remember Jelani, right?
Yeah, man.
And rest in peace. I want to say that. Rest in peace, Jelani. Jelani, he tells me right after that, teaching me how to become a millionaire and telling me all this shit. And I'm just, kind of one in out the other type shit. I'm listening to him, I'm fucking with him, but never made a move, never executed. And he passed away January 4th. He passed away on my damn daughter's birthday. I just got off the phone with him an hour before he passed away.
Damn.
And yeah, man. And December 2017, that fucking Bitcoin shit he was pushing, and I know he died with hella Bitcoin on it.
Yeah.
That shit hit with 20,000 a coin, essentially making motherfuckers a millionaire overnight. Had that man been alive, he would have been a multi-millionaire over fucking night.
Yeah.
Overnight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, from experience to everybody, listen, man, I'm not telling y'all this on some arrogant shit. I'm not saying this on some like I'm better than, no, I'm not better than, no, nigga, I make the same mistakes that everybody makes and still make them. And I'm telling you, $1 million mistakes, millions of dollars of mistakes niggas have made. Please listen to us, man, and don't make the same mistakes. Niggas ain't trying to high side on y'all. Niggas ain't trying to, make it like we better than y'all. We're telling you from experience, blood, sweat, and tears. Don't make that you got the opportunity. You feel me? To do that, to do something different. You feel me? And do it, man. Don't be like a lot of niggas who missed the mark, but still in it though. You feel me? And that's the thing I keep trying to like. Millions have ran through niggas' hands. Millions, niggas in this. It ain't about what you got. That's one thing I used to learn about. Just like I said, I always implement the street rules, the OGs, all that stuff. They'll tell you about the money they lost, never the money they gained. You feel me? And what I mean by that is, if it wasn't a dice game, it'd be like, I lost 30,000. Ooh, I lost so and so. Like that meant more. You know why? Because in this game, you're gonna take losses, and to them, it builds more character about what you lost. Niggas sitting around only a striker or a square, somebody who really ain't thinking outside the box, don't always talk about what they want. Nah, nigga, let me tell you, I almost lost 75,000 last, 7,500 last night. Nigga, what you mean? It's that, man. Talk about the losses, because the losses is gonna make the game. You got to know what you lost in order to know what you want to, receive out here. So that's the whole thing, man. Making boss moves and just really analyzing the situation and talk about these losses, man, and being man enough to basically say like, yo, this is the moves I make. That's the reason why I talk to you so much, because I want you and everybody to understand in my situation. I done made probably more mistakes in my life than I have accomplishments. But the accomplishments that I have made is driven off of my mistakes. And if anybody, people who, gravitate to me, like, damn, man, how you do this? Or how it's because of the fucking mistakes I made. Nigga, especially when it came to women, I've done, listen, I done made a lot of mistakes. I done done some simp shit myself. What I was like, I always tell you, I was young, though, 13, 14, around that, about 15 years. But the point is, I didn't done all that. I done gave women flowers. I done fucking gave out candy on just some bitch I like type shit. I don't even know this bitch. Just square shit. But what I do, once I got knocked, everybody in the school and laughed at me, the bitch that laughed at me, everybody, I wasn't ready to go kill myself on all this shit. Nigga, I took it in stride. Hell, I was laughing at me too, nigga. I was still capping on these niggas. We was joking back and forth, but the point is, I took the roasting like a motherfucking man, brushed myself off, and learned what not to do. And not even what not to do for some bitch that ain't mine. I always tell people that. I don't want this rhetoric to ever get, oh, we're women bashing. No, we're bashing bitches that ain't ours. We're bashing. You ain't my bitch. And guess what? I'm bashing you. Every motherfucking sister in the world, because you ain't choosing up with me. Well, bitch, don't choose on somebody. There's no reason to be in my face. But if a motherfucker want to be in my face, then guess what? This is what it is, man. So, we're gonna roll the red carpet out for me, and you're gonna get red carpet treatment yourself. But at the same time, to just give every bitch you fucking lust and desire the red carpet treatment in hopes that this bitch will, even give you the time of day, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's literally the definition of this thing. And then you try this process over and over and over again to no avail. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
That motherfuckers gonna keep giving, like, whoever told them this stuff, like, they gonna keep giving them the same advice to, like, not change and keep doing this shit.
Exactly.
And, it's like you gonna be losing money. They acting like they gonna be telling you to keep doing this, and it's usually gonna be bitches that's gonna tell you to keep doing this shit and never change. But they ain't the ones that's losing money.
Exactly.
They ain't the ones.
That's why I think that MGTOW shit came around. To your point, where once they start losing money, they realize, hey, why is this going on?
Yeah. Shit, but yeah, you gotta shit, I completely understand, all of this, mostly more than anybody. I've made mistakes as well. Hell, I made mistakes. I wasn't even like that young when I made mistakes and shit. I was an older cat, but it's like I had reached a point where I was like, I actually like when I think I said I made posted before when I said that a motherfucker has to be aware. You know what I mean? So you start to think like, I'm wasting time. I'm wasting money. Like, what am I doing wrong that's like not getting me the results I want to get? And then you got to just start reading and looking around, and then you'll find. Now I will admit this: when you start reading and looking around, so the motherfucker should be grateful that. I'm not trying to be like bragging or anything like that, but they should be grateful because at the time when I, learned this shit that I learned and I started learning, they were sending me towards these the directions of red pills and MGTOW or these pickup artist websites, and a lot of these cats be on some simp shit. So it's like and I, it's not completely bad because I'll be realistic with y'all. Like I had questions and I had like things about like I didn't know what a simp was at the time, but I knew something was like not right about something that a lot of shit was going on. I used to think like a bitch is choosing somebody else over me. Why is she doing that at one point? And I don't understand why. I'm not gonna be mad at the dude that get the bitch, whatever case is, but something is just not something I'm doing. This is not right. This is not working right. So I ended up in like because I used to be I ain't gonna lie, I used to be a big fan of like erotic novels and shit like Zane when I was a young boy, because I thought if I read them books, females would like they would think like, I'm thinking like them bitches is freaky. They might think I'm freaky. We might, but anyway, so I went and looked like when I first joined Facebook or whatever case is, I started looking around. I had got sick that year and I was bored and I didn't really go out like that. So I'm looking for like, you know, some type of way of socializing with people because I couldn't go anywhere. I was still recovering, so I hadn't really messed around with Facebook like that. I had made a Facebook, and most of my friends, my family and shit, and classmates were up there, but I hadn't really tried to join any groups or have any discussions. So I found out she had like a Facebook page and shit, and she had a website. So I would join those joins, and then she had like this huge Facebook group. I don't know if you ever been inside one of them, but she has a couple of those big ass Facebook groups where it's nothing but bitches. There's nothing but bitches in there join trying to get attention and shit. And then I had met a cat in there who had who basically schooled me on shit. So I ain't gonna say he schooled me, but he pointed to me like we agreed on the same things, and then like it was just starting to it was like that light bulb going off. It's like it's other men that agree on the same things, it's other men thinking the same things as I am, and then that's when I started to learn what it was and shit. Well, I didn't learn this shit from no white dude or no MGTOW dude. I learned this shit from black people. I learned this shit from the streets and shit.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, this that y'all listening to, Youngster. I mean, I learned how to make better content and to make the way the Stop Simp movement is the way it looks today. The way the whole anti-simp shit looks today is because of the advice I've taken from him, and the advice that of all the game I've chopped up with other people who probably went through the same exact shit. So like we're not trying to like diss none of y'all or make y'all feel a certain way, but you're gonna have to feel a certain way to get this fucking game.
Man,
what I mean?
I'm blessed to be able to even give the information to you, and the fact that you come to me, and it means a lot to me as well, bro. I'll say this: I didn't get the chance to get to receive a lot of this the way other people did. My information strictly came from the street. 97, 98, 99. I'm young, being out there and being around the OGs, especially moving to the Bay Area, and my barber, my real first barber, Jeff, who was a reputable PF out of San Francisco, and, just, it was a lot of shit. Back then, in order to get this information, it was blood, sweat, and tears. You had to go through the motherfucking brimstone and fire for real. And I'm saying that to say to a lot of young brothers who's listening, you ain't got to do that. I don't want you to have to do that. I don't want you to have to fall down and bump your head. I come from a neighborhood with over 20 homicide victims since 2000. I graduated 2002, and I know well over 20, probably 28 homicide victims, who were all, man, I tell my partner Jay, a lot of players, real players, you know what I'm saying, real had bitches, all this stuff, but caught up in this street shit, in this nonsense, and in this stuff that there really is no way out other than death or prison. And that's why the game is so dear to me, because I know a lot of people who lost their lives and a lot of people who gave up their lives in order for people like us to be able to get on a motherfucking, app and give this information. My niggas back in, 99, 2000, my rest in peace to Jay, all that, there was no app. There was no, you know what I'm saying? There was no computer. Yeah. Everything you heard, you had to be front and motherfucking center on the corner to get it, or in the back rooms, or in these overnight bars where niggas is, you know what I'm saying, pistols is at it. People is contemplating and plotting, and you had to be around wolves to get basic common sense. And my thing is, it doesn't have to be like that. A lot of these brothers was even built like that. And I'm glad they're not, because I don't think the streets is the end all be all. But at the end of the day, I will say this: for us who had to get it that way, be appreciative when we're giving it to you in a way that you can digest, that you ain't got to, you know, go to jail. Something bad happened to you, or a bitch damn near try to kill you, or run off with your whole, everything you have for at that moment, you to attain, you know what I'm saying? Or all this just silly shit. You ain't got to go through that. You can just get the fucking information and apply it. But I will say this though, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I think a lot of these niggas, while the information never gonna really disseminate with them, is because they didn't get it like that. You know what I'm saying? And they don't appreciate it. When you spend your blood, sweat, and tears on anything, believe me, you're gonna hold on dear to it. You ain't just gonna. So it's like you're gonna have a little bit more, you're gonna have a little bit more respect for the game. And that's the only thing that I see. A lot of brothers who get in these games off of podcasts, I think it's only gonna be a very small percentage who are gonna apply it, appreciate it, and take, heed to it. But for a lot of these niggas, it's gonna go in one ear and out the other because your ass didn't have to work for it. But I will say this: you get sick and tired, you keep doing, you keep getting fronted on by the bitch and everything. Believe me, you don't get, it's sink or swim. I'm gonna just be real with you. I don't know what else to tell you. It's like either you gonna motherfucking swim or your ass is gonna sink. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm telling you now. In the game I learned, they will push your ass off that board and tell you to swim. That's it's like there is no other option. You feel me? So that's the game. You feel me? In a fucking nutshell, nigga. Which one you gonna do? All this information we get tonight, motherfuckers got an opportunity to make millions. Niggas got opportunity to change their lives. Niggas got opportunity to have, abundance of women, an abundance lifestyle, have abundance of everything. But if you with this financial information and the game we get, we just told niggas how to get abundance of women, abundance of money, abundance of houses, abundance of whatever, or how to take that and live under your means with that game and keep an abundance of income, keep your overhead and everything low, and still have more than the average motherfucker. But it's just how you want to apply it. So like I said, we'll see. The game is out there, and we're gonna see how people